There are people who will smile at you with warmth, speak to you with charm, and walk beside you as if they are your greatest ally. Yet behind that smile is a blade, behind that charm is poison, and behind that companionship is a plan to destroy you from the inside. Not every demon hides in the shadows or wears horns on their head. Some demons walk on 2 feet, dress like you, talk like you, and pretend to care for you. But their spirit is filled with darkness, their mind is a weapon, and their presence is a test. These human demons don't just harm you in obvious ways. They attack your peace, your energy, your confidence, and your soul in ways that make you doubt yourself. They don't come at you with loud threats. They creep into your life quietly, like smoke slipping under a closed door. By the time you realize they are poisoning you, it may already feel too late. They know how to disguise themselves as friends, lovers, mentors, or protectors. They wear the mask of kindness to gain your trust, but the moment you give them access to your heart, they start the slow, calculated work of breaking it. The most dangerous thing about these people is that they do not reveal themselves quickly. They study you. They observe what makes you happy, what makes you angry, what wounds you carry from the past. They learn how to use your dreams as bait, your fears as chains, and your mistakes as weapons against you. You might feel an unexplainable heaviness when they are around, but you dismiss it because they keep smiling, keep talking sweetly, and keep pretending to care. This is how they keep you blind, while their darkness grows in your life. Sometimes the battle is not with what they do, but with what they make you feel. They plant seeds of doubt until you question your worth. They twist the truth until you wonder if you're losing your mind. They drain you of joy until you can no longer remember what it feels like to wake up in peace. This is not an accident. It's their nature. Darkness doesn't need to destroy you in one strike. It only needs to convince you to stay close long enough for it to consume you slowly. Many people ignore the signs because they cannot believe someone they trust could secretly be working against them. But denial will not protect you. If you learn to recognize the signs early, you will save yourself years of pain, confusion, and emotional damage. These human demons thrive in your ignorance. They want you to believe they are harmless until it's too late. You must sharpen your awareness, strengthen your boundaries, and refuse to be fooled by appearances. I can now give you the first of those 5 signs, but before I do, you must remember the most dangerous enemy is the one who smiles while holding a knife. The signs are there. You just have to be willing to see them. They don't control you with chains or force. They control you with your own feelings. A human demon studies your emotions like a map, marking every weak point, every wound, every longing you carry inside. They learn exactly what words to say to make you open the door to your heart, and then they walk in and rearrange everything inside it. They can make you feel guilty when you've done nothing wrong, ashamed for simply existing, or indebted to them for things you never asked for. They use praise to pull you closer, then criticism to keep you insecure, creating a constant cycle of emotional highs and lows that keeps you dependent on their approval. At first, it may feel like they care deeply because they pay such close attention to your moods. But that attention is not love, it's surveillance. They memorize your triggers and your reactions and your insecurities so they can press on them whenever they want to make you act in their favor. If they sense you're pulling away, they might show sudden kindness to pull you back in, making you think you misjudged them. But as soon as you relax, the emotional games begin again. This cycle isn't accidental. It's their way of maintaining power over you without you even realizing it. They may use subtle guilt trips to make you feel like you owe them more than you can ever repay. They may pretend to be hurt or offended to manipulate your sympathy, forcing you to comfort them instead of questioning their behavior. They might play the victim in every conflict, shifting the blame so that you feel you're the one who needs to change. And if you try to confront them, they'll twist your words, deny your reality, and make you doubt your own perception of events. Over time, you begin to wonder if you're too sensitive, too demanding, or too ungrateful. Exactly the narrative they want you to believe. This emotional manipulation doesn't just happen in arguments, it's woven into your daily interactions. A compliment that feels too perfectly timed, an apology that comes only when they need something, a story about their struggles that always makes you feel guilty for having boundaries. All of it is carefully placed to keep you emotionally off balance. They know that if your emotions are unstable, you will be easier to control. You will seek their reassurance, their approval, and their guidance, not realizing that they are the very ones creating the instability in the first place. The danger is that emotional manipulation can feel invisible until you're deep inside its web. Because they don't shout or physically harm you, you might dismiss the red flags, you might confuse their control for love, their criticism for concern, their unpredictable behavior for passion. But every smile, every tear, every affectionate gesture they give is calculated, designed to keep you dancing to the rhythm they set, never realizing you've already surrendered the strings they're pulling. They take from you what you cannot see being taken. The quiet strength inside you, the calm that once filled your heart, the energy that made you feel alive. Being around them feels like walking through a thick fog that weighs down your spirit, leaving you exhausted even before the day begins. You may find yourself drained, confused about why you feel so tired and empty after every interaction, but you blame yourself, thinking it's stress or something else. The truth is, this is one of their greatest weapons. They steal your peace and vitality without you realizing it. This draining is not always loud or aggressive. It often happens in small, subtle ways. A dismissive comment here, a sarcastic joke there, constant complaints, or a refusal to acknowledge your feelings. These little acts pile up like invisible leeches, sucking your life force bit by bit. Over time, what used to be simple joy becomes hard to find. You might lose interest in things you loved, become anxious or fearful, and feel a growing heaviness in your chest that you cannot explain. You don't realize this weight is their darkness settling inside your life. They do not want you whole or happy. Instead, they want you weak, uncertain, and dependent on them to feel anything good. When your energy is drained, you cannot think clearly or make decisions for yourself. You begin to question your worth, your choices, and even your sanity. They use this to tighten their grip on you, knowing that a drained person is easier to control. Their presence becomes a slow, suffocating drain, one that leaves you depleted and vulnerable. It might seem confusing because they often act like they are the ones giving you attention or support. But their so-called support comes with strings attached, and their attention is a tool to keep you tethered. They might interrupt your rest, criticize your efforts, or dismiss your needs, all while convincing you that you should be grateful for what little they give. They thrive on your exhaustion because it keeps you from fighting back, keeps you from seeing their true nature clearly. When you're emotionally and spiritually drained, even the smallest problems feel overwhelming. Your resilience fades, your motivation disappears, and your hope for better days dims. This is the battlefield where human demons operate most effectively. They chip away at your foundation so slowly and quietly that you hardly notice until you are on the edge of collapse. They want you so worn down that you stop fighting for your happiness and start believing that their presence is the only constant you can trust. Recognizing this drain is the first step in protecting yourself. You must learn to sense when your energy is being stolen, when your peace is being chipped away. It is not your fault, and it does not mean you are weak. It means you are encountering a force that feeds on your life's light. The sooner you understand this, the sooner you can take back your power and refuse to let anyone, especially a human demon, consume what is rightfully yours. They have mastered the art of twisting truth until it becomes unrecognizable, turning your reality into a fog of confusion and doubt. When you try to hold on to what you know, they skillfully pull the ground from beneath your feet. Their words are weapons disguised as concern, their explanations carefully crafted to make you question everything you believed to be true. They rewrite the story of your life and your interactions, making you wonder if your memory is failing you or if you are simply overreacting. This manipulation of truth is not accidental. It is a deliberate strategy to weaken your sense of self and control your perception. You might catch yourself replaying conversations, searching for what you missed or misunderstood. They deny things they said, deny promises they made, or deny actions you witnessed with your own eyes. When confronted, they become experts in deflection, turning the blame on you or accusing you of misunderstanding their intentions. This constant rewriting of facts erodes your confidence, leaving you unsure of what is real and what is their invention. Over time, this distortion becomes a prison where you are trapped in your own mind, second-guessing your feelings and thoughts. This behavior is often called gaslighting, and it is one of the most dangerous signs of a human demon. They don't want you to trust your judgment, because a person who trusts themselves cannot be controlled easily. By making you doubt your reality, they keep you dependent on their version of the truth. You begin to rely on their interpretation of events, their explanations for what happened, and their narrative of your relationship. This dependency gives them power to manipulate your decisions, isolate you from others, and keep you emotionally shackled. They may also use lies mixed with partial truths to confuse you even further. They tell you just enough to make their story believable, but not enough for you to verify the facts. They exploit your goodwill, your desire for harmony, and your hope that things will get better. You want to believe them because accepting their lies is easier than facing the painful truth of their betrayal. But each lie chips away at your ability to trust, not only them but also yourself and those around you. Because they are skilled manipulators, you might feel trapped in a cycle of hope and disappointment. One moment they convince you that they have changed or that you misunderstood everything. The next moment, the old patterns return, leaving you confused and hurt. This back and forth creates an emotional roller coaster that drains your clarity and wears down your resistance. The more confused you become, the more you seek answers from them, unknowingly giving them even more control. Their manipulation extends beyond words. They control how information flows to you, who you talk to, and what you see or hear. They isolate you from voices of reason and encouragement, replacing them with doubt and misinformation. This control of your environment makes it even harder to break free from their grip, because your reality becomes tightly controlled by their narrative. Recognizing this twisted manipulation of truth is crucial. When you start questioning your memories, your feelings, or your judgment, pay attention. This confusion is not your fault. It is a sign that someone is trying to steal your mind and your soul through lies and deception. Understanding this is the first step toward reclaiming your clarity and your freedom. They do not rejoice in your victories or celebrate your progress quietly. Instead, they harbor a hidden delight in your struggles, your failures, and your pain. This secret celebration is the dark fuel that drives their actions and attitudes toward you. While they may pretend to offer sympathy or support, beneath the surface there is a cold satisfaction when things go wrong in your life. Their joy is silent but sharp, a quiet glee that you suffer because it reinforces their power and diminishes your spirit. This hidden malice often goes unnoticed because it is wrapped in layers of pretense. They might express fake concern or offer advice that subtly undermines you, as if testing your reactions. They take pleasure in subtle ways, watching as you stumble, pointing out your weaknesses disguised as help, or withholding genuine encouragement when you need it most. When you succeed, they may make backhanded compliments or sarcastic remarks that chip away at your confidence. Every setback you experience is a victory for them, a reminder that they still hold control in the shadows. Their celebration of your pain is not always overt. Sometimes it's found in the small details. Laughing quietly when you are not looking, sharing your failures with others to damage your reputation, or withholding kindness and empathy to deepen your isolation. This hidden cruelty is like poison seeping into your spirit, slowly eroding your self-worth and hope. It is a form of emotional cruelty that leaves scars invisible to the outside world, but deeply felt in your soul. Because they hide their true feelings so well, you may question your own suspicions. You might wonder if you are imagining things or being too sensitive. They count on this doubt, knowing that your hesitation to confront them allows their darkness to thrive unchecked. The reality is that their secret delight in your suffering is a weapon designed to keep you off balance and prevent you from rising above your challenges. This toxic joy also feeds their need for control. When you are hurting, you become more vulnerable, more likely to accept their influence and less likely to stand firm in your own power. They use your pain as a leash, pulling you back whenever you try to break free. The more you struggle, the more they revel in your defeat, and the tighter their grip becomes. Recognizing this hidden celebration is difficult but essential. It requires paying close attention to the patterns of behavior, the subtle signs of cruelty hidden beneath a mask of concern. When you begin to see that someone does not truly want to see you succeed or heal, you can start to protect yourself from their influence. Understanding that their joy in your pain is not about you, but about their own darkness, helps you separate their toxicity from your own worth. In this way, you reclaim your power by refusing to feed their satisfaction. You learn to shield your victories and guard your heart against their silent cheers for your downfall. By becoming aware of this hidden celebration, you stop giving them the fuel they need to keep you chained in pain and defeat. They work quietly to cut you off from the people who truly care about you, those who offer genuine love, support, and encouragement. Isolation is one of their most powerful tools because it weakens your defenses and makes you more dependent on them. They know that when you are surrounded by those who believe in you, who remind you of your worth and strength, their control over you diminishes. So they slowly, subtly, and intentionally create barriers between you and your circle of support. This isolation does not always look like dramatic confrontations or obvious sabotage. It often comes in the form of small lies, half-truths, and manipulative words that sow seeds of doubt and mistrust. They may tell you that your friends or family don't really care about you, that they are talking behind your back, or that they don't want you to succeed. These whispers of doubt are designed to make you question the loyalty and intentions of those who love you. As you begin to pull away from your support system, their influence fills the growing emptiness. They might also discourage you from reaching out for help or sharing your struggles with others. When you do try to connect, they may belittle your relationships or accuse you of being disloyal for turning to someone else instead of them. This creates a toxic dynamic where you feel trapped between their demands and your need for support. You become isolated not only physically but emotionally, cut off from the lifelines that sustain your spirit. Because isolation weakens you, they become the center of your world, the person you rely on for emotional validation, guidance, and even your sense of reality. This dependency is exactly what they want. When your support network is gone or fractured, they control the information you receive, the perspective you hold, and the decisions you make. They become both your jailer and your only source of connection, making it nearly impossible to break free. The loneliness that comes with this isolation is profound. It chips away at your confidence and self-esteem, making you believe that you are truly alone and that no one else understands you like they do. This false intimacy is a trap designed to keep you bound to someone who does not have your best interests at heart. You may not realize how deeply isolated you have become until you feel the crushing weight of solitude and despair. Breaking free from this isolation requires awareness and courage. You must learn to recognize when someone is trying to cut you off from your true support system and remind yourself of the value of genuine relationships. Reaching out to those who love and care for you is an act of resistance against their control. It is a way to rebuild the connections that strengthen your spirit and restore your sense of belonging. Understanding this tactic of isolation is crucial because it reveals the true nature of the human demon's strategy to leave you vulnerable, cut off, and dependent so they can continue their manipulation unchecked. When you guard your relationships and refuse to allow anyone to sever those bonds, you reclaim your power and protect yourself from the darkness that seeks to consume you.